nucleus is essential to the life of a cell. It contains the genetic information that is passed on from cell to cell and from generation to generation. The ribosomes use this information to carry out protein synthesis. The nucleus, which has a diameter of about 5 micrometers, is a prominent structure in the eukaryotic cell. It generally appears as an oval structure located near the center of most cells. Some cells, such as skeletal muscle cells, can have more than one nucleus. The nucleus contains chromatin in a semi-fluid matrix called the nucleoplasm. Chromatin looks grainy, but actually it is a network of strands that condenses and undergoes coiling into rod-like structures called chromosomes. Just before the cell divides, all the cells of an individual contain the same number of chromosomes, and the mechanics of nuclear division ensure that each daughter cell receives the normal number of chromosomes, except for the egg and sperm, which usually have half this number. This alone suggested to early investigators that the chromosomes are the carriers of genetic information and that the nucleus is the command center of the cell. Chromatin, and therefore chromosomes, contains DNA, protein, and some RNA. Genes, composed of DNA, are units of heredity located on the chromosomes. 3 types of RNA are produced in the nucleus: ribosomal RNA, messenger RNA, and transfer RNA. Ribosomal RNA is produced in the nucleolus, a dark region of chromatin where RNA joins with protein and forms the subunits of ribosomes. Ribosomes are small bodies in the cytoplasm where protein synthesis occurs. Messenger RNA acts as an intermediary for DNA, which specifies the sequence of amino acids in protein. Transfer RNA participates in the assembly of amino acids during protein synthesis. The proteins of a cell determine its structure and functions. The nucleus is separated from the cytoplasm by a double membrane known as the nuclear envelope. Even so, the nucleus communicates with the cytoplasm. The nuclear envelope has nuclear pores of sufficient size to permit the passage of ribosomal subunits and RNA out of the nucleus into the cytoplasm, and the passage of proteins from the cytoplasm into the nucleus. High-power electron micrographs show that the non-membranous components associated with the pores form a nuclear pore complex.
Are particles where protein synthesis occurs. In eukaryotes, ribosomes are 20 nanometers by 30 nanometers. In prokaryotes, they are slightly smaller. In both types of cells, ribosomes are composed of 2 subunits, one large and one small. Each subunit has its own mix of proteins and RNA. The number of ribosomes in a cell varies depending on its functions. For example, pancreatic cells and those of other glands have many ribosomes because they produce secretions that contain proteins. In eukaryotic cells, some ribosomes occur freely within the cytoplasm, either singly or in groups called polyribosomes. In others, they are attached to the endoplasmic reticulum, a membranous system of flattened saccules and tubes, which are discussed more fully on the next page. Ribosomes receive mRNA from the nucleus, and this mRNA carries a coded message from DNA indicating the correct sequence of amino acids in a particular protein. Protein synthesis by cytoplasm ribosomes are used in the cytoplasm, and those synthesized by attached ribosomes end up in the ER. What causes a ribosome to bind to the endoplasmic reticulum? Binding occurs only if the protein being synthesized by a ribosome begins with a sequence of amino acids called single peptide. The single peptide binds a particular single recognition particle, which then binds to a receptor on the ER. Once the protein enters the ER, an enzyme cleaves off the single peptide, and the protein ends up within the lumen of the ER, where it folds into a final shape.
The nucleus of eukaryotic cells is bounded by a nuclear envelope containing pores. These pores serve as passageways between the cytoplasm and the nucleoplasm. Within the nucleus, chromatin, which contains DNA, undergoes coiling into chromosomes at the time of cell division. The nucleolus is a special region of the chromatin where RNA is produced and ribosomal subunits are formed. Ribosomes are organelles that help make proteins. When protein synthesis occurs, RNA leaves the nucleus with a coded message from DNA that specifies the sequence of amino acids in that protein. After RNA attaches to a ribosome, it binds to the endoplasmic reticulum if it has a signal peptide. Specifically, the signal peptide attaches to a signal recognition particle that in turn binds to a signal recognition particle receptor on the endoplasmic reticulum. When completed, the protein remains in the lumen of the endoplasmic reticulum.